Hello, and welcome to our Dallas Weekly episode of 100 Yards of Football. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and digital media person here at the Dallas Weekly, and I am joined by two-time All-American, 12-year veteran of the Atlanta Falcons, first-round draft pick in the 1981 draft, Mr. Bobby Butler. How's it going, Mr. Butler?
It's going good, Jeremiah. How are you today?
I'm good, man. Did I get the pedigree right that time?
You got it right, brother.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I am thrilled to bring in a pro, someone who has played at the highest level and who's also seen other people come up through the years on those levels. I've had a really great time talking to you about some of the high school players, and I'm seeing the interviews you've brought in about high school players, so you really understand what happens from the time that they're in those really integral years where they're first starting out their career, the systems they learn, then how they move through the college system, and then find that real stride in what really speaks to them. And sometimes their position changes, sometimes their strengths change, and sometimes they find a different legging, and then they go on into the pros. And when they move on towards the pros, they find that final footing where they're just like, okay, this is where I'm going to live. This is what I'm going to do. And, sometimes things change, of course, but a lot of times that's when they find their big moment, So we're talking about Caden Stearns. He's a free safety out of the University of Texas. And Mr. Butler, will you please tell me, what do you think about his draft prospects, like his strengths and weaknesses, and maybe some teams that you think could draft him?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. Caden is 6'1". He's fluctuating anywhere from 205 to 210. He has nice size. Let's go back to high school. He's a Texas boy. He's a former 5-star recruit, and that's big now. There are a lot of 3 and 4 stars, but someone put 5 by your name, that's big, Jeremiah. He's a former 5-star recruit. He's an Army All-American out of high school. And here's the thing, man. When he arrived matter of fact, he committed to LSU and decommitted and signed at Texas. And when he went in Texas, he made a big flash his freshman year, man. I mean, with the Longhorns, man, his first year, he was Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year and first team All Big 12 in 2018 as a freshman. So when he arrived on campus, that 5-star status was showing bright, and it was lighting up because he did everything he can do as a freshman. He had 62 tackles. He had 4 picks. He had a sack as a freshman. I mean, he played great ball. His sophomore year, he played 9 games, had a couple injuries here and there, and, didn't play as well as his freshman year. And so he's ready for the NFL draft. This kid is a Sunday player. He has great cover skills. And he understands zone concepts. He is smart. He is instinctive, Jeremiah, and he's got a great feel. Now, here's what I like. When a free safety has a great feel for a passing game, that's telling me a few things, right? First of all, that's telling me that he studies tape and he understands what the opponent is going to do to him. I like his timing. He knows how to time up a pass when it's thrown down the field. He's making big hits on receivers right into their body at the perfect time. I love this guy. He can play man-to-man. He's great in zone concepts. And here's what I like about him, too. When he's got the center field, he's got the center field. The one thing a corner, and I'm an ex-corner, one thing I got to have for my free safety, when he's supposed to be in the middle of the field playing center field, I'm expecting him to be there, right? And so this guy is true to the game. He understands it. He understands how to read the quarterback. He breaks on the ball extremely well. I like his tackling, the way he tackles. I mean, this guy is a big-time NFL prospect. Now, here's the thing about him, right? He lit up his pro day. He lit it up. He ran a lot faster than anticipated. He ran a 4.40. And here's the other thing. Here's the thing that I like. The 40 is great, right? But he showed me his explosiveness when he vertical jumped 42 inches, Jeremiah. That says a lot, right? So I'm going to say this. They had him projected right about mid-round pick. But with that 40 time, with that vertical jump, he's did himself some good, at his pro day. So I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, he's aggressive with playing the ball. Like I said, he's got great timing. for legal hits to the body of the receivers. And here's the thing about Texas, man. If you look at their history, they got a strong history of great safeties coming out. Guys like Nathan Vasher, Quentin Jammer, Aaron Ross, and the great Earl Thomas, Michael Huff, Jerry Gray, and then a guy back in my day, Johnny Johnson, two-time All-American. So he's got a great tradition at Texas, and I think he's going to make somebody a good pick in the NFL draft in 2021.
Would you venture a specific pick on a team that would really be served well with him, even if it's not one that may take him, like, because we're not exactly sure when he'll get picked in the draft, right?
Well, we're not sure, but here's the thing. There's a team in the state of Texas that needs a safety. And matter of fact, people thought they were going to pick up this one guy I just mentioned, a former other great Texas safety by the name of Earl Thomas. They never picked him up. Now, here's a guy that they're going to be able to get for a bargain. Yeah. And I hope they don't leave him out there too long, because with that 40 time, with that vertical jump, somebody's going to snatch him off the board. So I say the Dallas-Fort Worth area in the state of Texas could surely use a guy like this, a homegrown product, in Mr. Caden Stearns.
Well, everybody watching, what do you think? Where could Caden Stearns go, and where could Caden Stearns really like get some traction? Because, you know, when you get in there and you get into a good system and everything, you know, you want to be able to get, you know, you want to play, obviously, and you want to grow, right?
Absolutely.
And you want to find a home. That's the other thing. You want to find a home where you can really set up your shop and like go in for it, right? So let us know in the comments. What do you think? Where's a great place that Caden Stearns could go? And where do you think, you know, what round do you think he'll get drafted in? Tell us in the comments that too. So Mr. Butler, any final words on Caden Stearns?
Well, he's a versatile guy. So when I tell you he's a good center fielder, that means he's a good free safety. I mean, and when I tell you he covers well in man-to-man, that means I can put him on the slot if I have to, or I can put him on big tight ends, and he has cover skills. So he's a true all-around defensive back. He's not just a safety. He's going to make somebody a special player in the NFL.
I definitely believe that. Well, for everybody else watching too, make sure you tell us that. And if you're listening to us or watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, thank you so much, especially our Dallas Weekly listeners and watchers who are with us every week for these great previews. We've got Bobby Butler. We bring in Vincent Turner, the encyclopedia of football knowledge, and we talk about, you know, some great players, and we do great team profiles, and we'll get back into some game previews when the season starts back up. So if you love to watch us, then you're going to really love listening to us. And so jump over and listen to our podcast. You can go over to 100 Yards of Football anywhere you listen to podcasts, either on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, or even use your home device and be like, hey, Google, I want to listen to 100 Yards of Football podcast, and it'll play it immediately. I've actually tried it on like all kinds of different devices, so it totally works. So that's our preview and our NFL draft prospect for Caden Stearns. He's the free safety out of the University of Texas. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our show. And thank you so much for the Dallas Weekly for hosting these weekly videos with us here at 100 Yards of Football. I'm the producer, Jeremiah Long, and you've been listening to Bobby Butler, two-time All-American, 12-year veteran of the NFL, tell us all about this amazing draft prospect. We'll see you on the next video.